So we got started just before COVID in 2019. Our CEO is Villa Laika. Before then, he was working in banking in Toronto, and then made that switch during COVID. And the early days here is he's working from his home office, and it's really an homage to our kind of our startup roots, where at that point in time there's just two employees, and you couldn't go anywhere. So he's got two large banners inside his small apartment. But fast forward to where we are now, we've over 120,000 landlords in the platform. I think we just hired a couple more people, so our team's now over 20 full-time employees with a handful of contractors to support the daily operations here at SingleKey. We've been doing a lot of changes lately, so quickly to kind of give you an understanding of what we've got available. Our job here at SingleKey is to reduce risk for you finding tenants, really at the beginning of that journey, and now along the journey of during your tenancy, which is where our rent guarantee product will fit into. I'll let Hannah cover those details. But we just offered a new international credit checking service called Nova Credit now. So basically, that will cover about 80% of the world's population. You guys can now do credit checks on new Canadians, which I think is super amazing and powerful. It really prevents what's happening right now in the marketplace, where tenants are typically offering months of rent up in advance just because they are that unknown entity. So this gives you a way to kind of credit check them, have a bit of a known entity, and it allows the tenants to keep more money in their pockets so they can start their life a lot sooner, which is great. We've also brought on TransUnion now as well. And what we've noticed having those two bureaus, and we can do dual credit checks now, is we actually noticed there is a decent discrepancy between the two bureaus. And I think our educated guess around that is because there's a cost to reporting from a business perspective, and most businesses typically only choose to report to one bureau over the other. And then I guess in the middle too is we also do rent collection. So it's the same way that you would pay a utility bill out of your checking account. We allow that to do the same process for your tenants. So it's automated; they can collect and pay rent. It does take a little bit longer than, say, an e-transfer. So a little bit of a decision-making process if you guys want to go that way or just continue using e-transfer. The nice thing about the rent collection is there is no reminder, and there is, once it's set up, it just go. You don't have to rely on your tenant having to remember to do the e-transfer. So we're always trying to move forward on reducing risk. One of the new features we've kind of brought out, it's actually been out live for a couple months, but we are probably a little bit later this year going to allow tenants to order their own credit reports and bring them to a viewing. I think that would give them an opportunity to put their best foot forward. Of course, as you, the landlord, it gives you an opportunity to get a free credit report added to your SingleKey account without having to pay for it. So what we've done here, I'm going to pop this on, is we know best practice is always getting information from a trusted source. So there's always, unfortunately, that underlying motivation. If a tenant's desperate enough, they might modify or Photoshop a credit report. So if they're giving it directly to you, your job is still to verify that it's authentic and accurate. So what we've done now to kind of make that process a bit easier is on all of our credit reports, you're going to notice that we've got a QR code. So I've got a report right here in front of me. It's got green scores across the top. It's for a John Smith, and we've got this QR code on the side of it. So if we go and open my iPad here, if they're at the viewing, they've given you a report, you can do this right in the spot. Scan that QR code. There you go. Touch too many screens there. And you can scan the QR code, and we'll ask you to do one of two things: either log into your existing SingleKey account, or if you're a brand new user, you can create an account on that spot. And what this will do, it will add this tenant's credit score report directly to your account at no cost. So you're saving the $25 credit checking fee. And what you guys can see right now is the credit score is in fact red. It's not as good. There's high debt payments and a low credit score of 535. Even though the original credit score, again on the side here, was showing green across the board and all that stuff. So we're trying to give you guys tools to mitigate that risk. And that's where this rent guarantee program fits in as well.